Happy Sunday, people. So, this is the first Sunday in November of 2025, and I've had a very eye opening day about myself, and it's a hard pill to swallow, but nonetheless, I have to swallow it and I have to be obedient. So, I believe that have one more craft event that's like in person, and I'm gonna have to put that on hold for a while because it's taken a lot out of me to do those events and be here for my family. And I wanted to use that money to like help me pay off my debts, but God has a different plan for me, so I'm going to be obedient, and my last one will be right before Thanksgiving. So whatever he has for me is for me. But with that being said, I do know that I'm supposed to speak life into teachers and to encourage teachers, and that's starting with encouraging myself. And something I noticed is while I was having a very difficult time to post this content was because I didn't know what to post. And I thought about it. I kept praying like, Lord, you want me to do this? Well, how you want me to do it? What you want me to say? And today, clear as the day, and it's been happening, and now I know it's for sure. Lesson plan. And I was like, wait, what? Like I can lesson plan, but I never thought about planning out my videos like I plan out my lessons. Then I had to go back and be honest with myself. I've been teaching for quite a while, and maybe I don't put as much energy into my lesson plans as I need to. And so I had to think back to a time when I had to really focus in and hone in on my lessons. And that was back in 2017, I want to say, when I wasn't a daycare teacher anymore, and I wasn't a coach of daycare teachers. I was coming back into elementary education, and I had to pursue another master's after my adult and higher ed. So I was pursuing my elementary license. And I remember I had a mentor teacher, and I won't say her name because we know who she is, but y'all, she was tough on us. But in hindsight, of course, it's 2020, it made me a better teacher. It made me know how to lesson plan. So I had to think today about that time when I was like being crushed and I was being like pressed, and she was making me think differently. And I remember crying on my first day. Like I had to do student teaching by myself, like just the one day. And I had taught before, so I don't know what happened. But I was like, I don't want to do this. This is dumb. I went through these whole things, and I will never forget her and her, like, meant her boss and my like I had a co-teacher with me. We were both going together, and we had this word called plucky. And I never knew what the word meant. And so look up plucky and you'll understand why the word fits in this scenario. So we all had name tags that day that said, I will be plucky. And it has always stuck with me. I think I still have the little name tag from that day. But she pushed us to be so ready for the classroom. She let us know that we had kids' lives in our hands. And so all I kept thinking today was, go back to that place. Go back and look at those lesson plans. Remember how God was shaping you in that moment. Because basically, if I'm going to be obedient, I have the lives of so many children in my hands if I'm going to speak towards teachers who are over different classrooms. So I have to go back and plan. But I have to be real with myself and say, how well are you doing in your plans as a teacher? Are you doing the bare minimum? Are you just doing enough to be compliant? Or are you really like diving in and doing what you used to do? And I'm going to be honest, sometimes it feels like, what's the purpose of doing it when it can change from day to day, to be honest. Like, things change. So I think it is worth it to have a plan, a unit plan, and know where I'm going. So I do that for my lesson plans, but I think I can get a little bit better and a little bit hone in, especially for my small groups, because I'm doing small groups from November to the end of 2025, straight small groups. I'm only teaching a read aloud out loud for like those ELA standards, and maybe 15-20 minutes of a math lesson, but everything else will be done in small groups to hit foundations and to really push through what I know we need for the remainder of the school year. But I also need to plan out my content, so that's what I'm going to spend this week doing. And this is going to count as my first video for the week, and I'm going to have a video ready for next week. And I'm just going to see where God takes me on this journey. I'm going to be obedient, and I know He's telling me to plan it out, to seek His face and plan it out. So that's what I'm going to do, is seek His face and plan it out. Y'all have a blessed night.